Third season on a very warm summer day before a capacity crowd of 76,000. Hi, everybody. I'm Frank Leeper. The Falcons have already had one big question answered. The condition of running back William Andrews. Injured in preseason. He played in just 5 plays all preseason. Had a knee injury. He tested it out. He told us after working on the artificial turf that he is ready to go. A little tender, though not 100%. With me is John Madden. And with Andrews playing, how does that change the Giants' priorities?
Well, it really doesn't change, Frank, because the Giant coaches knew yesterday that Andrews would play, and they said the 2 things they have to do to stop the Falcons is 1, stop William Andrews, and 2, put a pass rush on Bartkowski, especially early in the game.
Well, the coaches are thinking along the same lines. BENNETT told us yesterday that he's got to have the big play from Bartkowski.
Well, he has to have the big play, but the thing that he's worried about is his offensive line. He said, you know, in preseason, they've had a Jekyll and Hyde type of thing. In Philadelphia, they were very good. Last week against Tampa Bay, they were terrible. He said one of his biggest disappointments is his offensive line. He said today they have to pass protect. You know, we can talk about the offense and the defense, but sometimes these league openers always boil down to special teams. So that could be the big difference today.
And one of the big reasons is that the Atlanta Falcons had 2 kicks, 2 punts blocked by the Giants in their last 2 meetings, and that proved to be the margin of difference. Atlanta winning the toss of the coin, and Joe DANELO is ready to kick off. And the National Football League season is underway. It'll be down deep in the end zone as DANELO really got into that one by rookie Reggie Brown. Sizing up the Falcons, Andrews, of course, in there, and Alfred Jackson making his first start ever after 5 years playing behind Wallace Francis at a wide receiver position. The Atlanta offensive line has one change. Pat Howell is replacing Dave Scott. That's been a unit that's been together for 5 years, and Howell is now beating on Scott, at least for the time being. Andrews and Lynn Cain to the setbacks, and Cain gets the call, bounces off a tackle at the line of scrimmage, and is out to the 26-yard line. Pickup of 6 on the play. Tackle made by Beasley Reese coming up from the secondary. There's the Giants' defensive line. They play the front 3, but as you can see, Curtis McGriff is normally in there on first down. Then when they get into a passing situation, George Martin comes in, and Jim Burt is replacing the regular starter, Ed Neal, at the nose tackle. The Giant linebackers, and that's a fine set of linebackers anchored by Lawrence Taylor, and the New York secondary. Same unit which performed well last year. 2nd down 4. William Andrews picks up the first down at the 34-yard line. First down of the ball game.
You know what the Falcons did here, Frank? They put in 3 wide receivers. There's only 1 running back in the backfield, and that's Andrews. That's not a bad one. He starts inside to hold those linebackers. They all collapse to the inside, and then he's able to bounce the ball out.
Gary Carson, number 53, the first to reach him, but not before the Falcons pick up the first down. Now they've got Cain on the wing off to the left side, leaving Andrews as the lone setback.
Let's go now!
Triple wing setup to the right side. Bartkowski looking left and instead going right to Jenkins. That's a pickup of 6 as they continue to eat up the yardage on this opening drive.
You know, that's an interesting play, and I think it's a page out of the 49er playbook. You know, Bill Walsh, the thing that he did different with his passing game is he had first down passes that are designed to make 5 or 6 yards that you use in lieu of runs, and that's what the Falcons did just there.
2nd down 4 for the Atlanta Falcons. Temperature officially 85 degrees, but you can bet on an artificial turf it's over 100 right now. Falcons at their own 40-yard line. Lynn Cain driving for another first down as he bounces across the 45 out to the 47. Bill Courier, number 29, teaming with Brian Kelly, number 55, to make the stop.
You know, one of the things that William Andrews was talking about before the game, he said that his knee felt real good in Atlanta on the grass. He said, but he doesn't know how it's going to be on this turf because it tends to grab.
And of course, there's a conditioning factor. He's played only 5 plays in all of preseason. Giant fans roaring for their team to hold him here. 1st and 10 at the 46-yard line at Atlanta's end of the field. approaching the 49. Pickup of 3, second down 7. The head coach of the New York Giants, Ray Perkins, just in his 3rd year, leading the club to its first winning season last year since 1972, when they went 9-7. He spent, I guess, what, 2.5 hours with us yesterday?
Yeah, he really is something. You know, he loves football, and he enjoys talking about it, as does Lehman Bennett.
Head coach of the Atlanta Falcons. Falcons are 4-1 in season openers under Bennett. 2nd and 7. Atlanta from its 49. Bartkowski dropped by Andrews at the 50-yard line. Jim Burke, number 64, the nose tackle, zeroed in on Bartkowski, and he just did get it away.
They were trying to run a screen pass to the right, and one of the linemen was George Martin. He came off with the screen, and William Andrews couldn't get to the outside.
Jim Bird, who's from Miami, filling in for Ed Neal at that nose tackle position. He told us yesterday, please don't call me short. He is 6'1".
He's 6'1", and you know, that's not bad for a nose tackle, because you always teach him, stay low, stay low. Heck, he's built low. He was born low.
This is the first 3rd down attempt the Falcons have had in the football game. 3rd and 7 from their 49. Bartkowski. Jenkins couldn't hold it. Wanted the pass interference call. As Terry Jackson, number 24, was defending for the Giants. So the Falcons will be forced to punt.
It'll be interesting to see here what the Giants do on this punt return, Frank, because in the last 2 times they've played, they've had a punt block against the Falcons that won both games for them.
And Ray Perkins told us yesterday that he thought maybe he could do something here on the specialty teams again. Dave Smigelski, you saw him, the rookie punter for the Falcons, who replaced the veteran John James. And Leon Bright, who missed all of preseason with an injury, is the deep man.
Giants have 10 men up.
Now we get a whistle prior to the snap, maybe too much time. 30-second clock expired, and that will cost the Falcons 5 yards. You know, Smigelski averaged 46 yards in preseason, but Bennett told us the way he did it had him a little concerned. He did it by hitting 60-yarders and 30-yarders.
That's right, and even some of those 60-yarders, they say, were 2-irons.
That's right.
You know what that means, a 2-iron? You know how it starts out low and just keeps going and going and going?
I've never hit one of those.
Delay of the game. Offense, number 3. 4th down.
So that makes it 4th and 11. Smigelski was obtained in a trade from the Baltimore Colts, and he fumbles this one. Still tries to get the kick away and does, and it's a beautiful kick. Wright backing up to the 9. And Wright is buried at the 11-yard line. A lot of cool under pressure there by Smigelski, who got away a 45-yard punt despite fumbling the snap.
Let's watch this now. The Giants have 10 men up. See, now that shakes them up. See, there's 10 men in there coming on a punt block. Now watch the ball. It goes right through Smigelski's hands, but they only had 1 man rushing. You see, and that's the problem. They couldn't put enough pressure on him.
You have the normal rush, and you got a block, right? Got it away cleanly, and the Giants will be going to the offense for the first time this afternoon from their own 11-yard line. No score. 11:07 left in the first period.
You can't disguise the quality of this car. It could be a BMW, but it isn't. It's thousands of dollars less.
As the New York Giants offensive backs and receivers, you see Butch Woolfolk, the Giants' #1 draft choice, getting his first starting assignment. And the Giants line, one change in there. Bruce Kimball at right guard is beating out the veteran J.T. Turner. Scott Bruner at the throttle. Giants 1st and 10 from their 11-yard line. Woolfolk on his first carry officially as a New York Giant in regular season fray. Hurdles out to the 18-yard line for a pickup of 7. Fulton Kuykendall, number 54 in the stop. Falcons, like the Giants, play the 3-man front. Don Smith in the middle. Missed a good portion of preseason with an ankle injury. And the Falcon linebackers, 2 years ago, probably the best crew in all of football. And last year, they had difficulties, injuries, Williams primarily. And the secondary, no change from last year. That's where they really needed to make some changes, because last year that secondary yielded 30 touchdown passes, the most in the NFC. 2nd down 3. York Giants. Perkins told us yesterday he's going to have to run on this team, and he's trying to do it. Wolf Volk.
You know, the interesting thing about trying to run, they had no tight end in on those first two plays. They had 3 wide receivers. They had John Missler, number 85, was in, along with the 2 regular wide receivers. Tried to make it look like a passing formation and then run.
Third down, less than a yard. That's Shirk, Gary Shirk, one of the tight ends. Mullady, the other one in motion. And they didn't get the first down, rather obviously, as Leon Perry tried to dent the left side and was shoved back by Buddy Curry, number 50. As you look at this Giants offense, you got some questions.
Look at this, Frank. You see they get no movement there. We see Joel Williams gets penetration, and then Curry can come right to the outside.
Here's Dave Jennings, first one of the season, and he hangs it up beautifully. Billy White Shoes Johnson at the 30, 35, 40. Out to the 43-yard line, so the Falcons will come up with good field position after a 49-yard kick by Jennings, who led the NFL in punting just 2 seasons ago. Timeout, 9 minutes, 21 seconds left to play in the opening period at Giant Stadium.
Deacon's my name, and bowling's my game.
Gutter ball, gutter ball.
Come on, 3 strikes and you're out.
We just won another round of light beer from Miller.
Yeah, light sure tastes great.
Let's Miller, tastes great.
Wait a minute.
There it is. Down there. Take your time.
8 ball in the pocket.
Bubba, this ball doesn't have any holes in it.
Yeah, it does.
The score's all even.
Glass frame. Who's up?
Rodney.
Rodney! Gotta be a mistake.
Hey, you kids, it's a piece of cake.
All we need is 1 pin, Rodney.
Rodney. Light beer from Miller. Everything you always wanted in a beer, and less.
I didn't get my turn yet. I'm going to break this tie.
Welcome back to Giant Stadium, where the Falcons have the football and a first down at their 43. That's Bruce Kimball, the Giants offensive lineman. We said he had beaten out J.T. Turner and was making his first start, and he hurt his leg on the first play of the game, and we'll have to check it out for you. Andrews kind of tentatively feeling his way along the line of scrimmage. Gets a couple of yards to the 46-yard line.
Let's watch why he was tentatively coming down that line. Now watch number 56. We'll watch him, Lawrence Taylor. He's playing on the tight end. See, he takes Junior Miller. Hold him. Let the ball come to you, Lawrence. And then boom, right to the inside and make the tackle. Good play. That's the way to play a tight end.
He sat out the last preseason game with an ankle injury. Second down, 7. Falcons at their 46-yard line. Bartkowski. Lynn Cain. Across the 50 to the 47-yard line. Was that a good move or some shoddy tackling?
Lynn Cain makes more tacklers miss than any back that I know in this league.
Also a very fine pass receiver. But had a knee injury, and he's had trouble coming back from it for the last year or so. Other scores around the NFL, Kansas City with a field goal on Buffalo. Nick Lowry from 39 yards away. And Cincinnati leading Houston. Kenny Anderson hitting Dan Ross with an 18-yard touchdown pass. Our score, 0-0. 8 minutes left, opening period. 1st and 10. Falcons at the Giant 46. Andrews heading around the left side, and apparently the Falcons feel they have found something on that left side because they're really testing it.
Well, what they're trying to do is usually Lawrence Taylor has always been the weak side linebacker. One, they're only putting one back in the backfield, and they're putting a tight end on Lawrence Taylor so that he has to take on a block on the line of scrimmage. Let's see if we can watch it again. Now we'll see it from the end zone. See now, we see there's only one back in the backfield. He starts to the inside, lets Lawrence Taylor take a step, then he's on the tight end. By the time he gets there, he just outruns him and gets to the outside.
Andrews has averaged 6 yards on his first 3 carries of the day. 2nd and 4 from the Giant 40. It's Cain. And this time stacked up on the line of scrimmage, maybe a yard at most. As the Giants got after him that time, Curtis McGriff, number 76.
Big Curtis McGriff. He's the left end that plays on running downs, and Ray Perkins was saying yesterday that he thinks just playing the run, McGriff is probably the best player they have.
3rd and 3 from the 39-yard line. Philadelphia leading Washington 7-0 in the first period. A 4-yard run by Wilbert Montgomery. Timeout being called by the Falcons here as Bartkowski wants to come over and talk to Lehman Bennett about this 3rd down selection. Atlanta wound up the preseason 2-2 in a model of inconsistency as they were blown away by Baltimore and by Tampa Bay. Beat Minnesota and Philadelphia. 0-0 our score in the first quarter. Coming up later this afternoon, not far down the road, Jimmy Connors and Ivan Lendl in the finals, the men's final of the U.S. Open tennis tournament. Lendl, the big check machine. You think he might have I called him that, John?
Call him anything you want.
All right. Going to be a great final right after the Giants and the Falcons on CBS. The climax of 2 great weeks of tennis coverage. 3rd down, 4. Falcons at the Giant 40. Jackson in motion. Andrew stopped at the line of scrimmage. No gain. Jim Burke, number 64 in there. Taylor, number 56, and Harry Carson, number 53. All had a hand in the tackle.
The Giants didn't go for that one. The Falcons, they had the spread formation, only one back in the backfield. They wanted the Giants to play pass defense so they could run a draw in there. They didn't. The Giants all stayed right on the line of scrimmage.
Smigelski in to do the punting. Beasley Reese is deep. Boy, the number of punters cut in the last week of the season and place kickers was something to behold. We've got a whole new set of names to learn this year. People like Rich Carlos and Florian Kemp and Mike Lansford, and of course Smigelski. Not as much pressure this time. Beasley Reese at the 7. Crosses the 10 and stopped just short of the 15-yard line. So New York will put it in play from there with Paul Davis, number 59, coming up to make the stop. Still no score with 6 minutes and 24 seconds left to play in the opening period. Giants and the Falcons, 0-0 here at Giant Stadium.
Chevrolet Celebrity. Chevrolet Celebrity.
Come drive the bright new shape of Chevrolet.
Frank Lieber with John Madden at Giant Stadium, New York, with a 1st and 10. Giants have the ball at their own 14-yard lines. There's the linebackers set up for the Atlanta Falcons. Headed by Joel Williams. Bruner calling the signals. Wolfo got a couple of yards to the 16-yard line. Let's get an NFL Today report. Here's Brent Musburger in New York.
Frank, Wilbert Montgomery has just put the Philadelphia Eagles ahead of the Washington Redskins by a score of 7-0. Look at this, 4 yards. That's a working man's touchdown. Back to you and John in the Meadowlands.
That's a working man, Wilbert Montgomery. Not much question about that. 2nd down, 8. Giants from their 16-yard line. Bruner got the rush on, gets the pass away. Joe Morris. A correction, that's Perry. Over at the 14-yard line, 30 instead of 20. And Buddy Curry coming up quickly along with Kenny Johnson to make the hit. Leon Perry also injured a good portion of the preseason. And coming back, Giants were 1-3 in preseason. They beat only the Jets. They beat them decisively. Rams on top of Green Bay in Milwaukee. Wendell Tyler on a 4-yard run, making it 7-0 Los Angeles. And Tampa Bay got a 51-yard field goal from Bill Capice to move out in front of the Minnesota Vikings. Our score still 0-0. 5 minutes left in the opening period. 3rd and 9. From the shotgun, Bruner completes the pass to Larry Heater, but considerably short of the first down at the 16-yard line. You look at this Giant offense, really, though, and on paper, there's no one that scares you to death, does it?
Well, that's the thing. They have to worry about maybe the Giant offensive team, but there's no one person. Of course, last year, that's where Rob Carpenter really helped him, because he was a one thing you had to key on, you had to stop him. And when you have to do that, that opens up a lot of other things.
Billy White shoes Johnson deep, anticipating the punt of Jennings. Giants last year had the 28th and last ranked offense. in the NFL. Still, they made the playoffs because they had the great defense. This kick, not as good as the last one, but takes a giant hop. White Shoes picks it up at the 40 and is run out of bounds at midfield. So again, the Falcons come up with excellent field position. With the good bounce, the punt wound up going 41 yards. The counterpunch by Johnson, 11. Timeout once again here at the Meadowlands.
Oh, Edna, the Toyota needs struts, brakes, and a new muffler. And if we can't get the car back by tonight, we can't go to your mother's for dinner. She'll never get all that done in one day.
If you want your foreign car fixed fast, trust the Midas Touch. Midas has foreign car struts, brakes, and mufflers in stock.
I won't see my mother-in-law for a week.
Trust the Midas Touch.
Hi, Mom.
The last thing I want is for my boy to get hurt. So I gave him an Norelco. It treats him with tender, loving care. Doesn't nip or cut like blades can, and shaves his face baby smooth. He loves his Norelco, because it cuts down whiskers like Mark Gastineau cuts down quarterbacks.
Right, Mom. I swear by my Norelco.
I wish he wouldn't swear.
Norelco Rotatract. Tough on your beard, not on your face.
The nose of the football just in the New York Giants end of the field at the 50-yard line as the Falcons bring it up to the line of scrimmage. They've had the ball 3 times. Each time their field possession has been better. They've started from their 20, from their 43, and now from their 50. Bartkowski with a bullet. Completes it to Jackson, close to the yardage needed for the first down at the 40-yard line. Alfred Jackson making his first start in the NFL.
I think we're going to see this all day. We see there's just one back in the backfield. CAIN is split way out to the left. Bartkowski doesn't look to the left to CAIN. Watch, he's looking all the way for Jackson. He sees him there, good pass protection, and he's able to get the first down.
Bartkowski is 3 out of 5 for 22 yards. Second down, less than a yard. Ball is at the Giants' 40. CAIN driving forward to the 38-yard line, and that's a first down for Atlanta. Now for another NFL Today update, here's Brent Musburger.
Frank, we have our first controversy of the season. Wendell Tyler of the Rams has been given a touchdown. See if he wasn't stopped before he got to the goal line by the Packers. May have been knocked in by a Green Bay defender. 7-0 Rams. Rams have just recovered a fumble. Back to you in the Meadowlands.
I don't know. Look close to me, John. What do you think?
Looks good to me.
First and 10. Falcons on the move. They're at the Giant 38-yard line. Andrews still wound up making a yard after it looked like he was about to be thrown for a loss by Gary Jeter, number 7. Take a look at the number 3 defense in the league last year.
See, now watch the left guard. He's going to pull, see? The Giants see it. The linebackers step right up. There's Carson. He fills the hole, and that's what made Andrews cut back. He was going into that hole inside. He saw Harry Carson there. Said, I can't go there. I'll go the other side.
Harry has been around a long, long time. Savvy veteran. Second down, 8. Falcons have 4 first downs. Giants have none. Bartkowski with a rainbow and overthrows his intended receiver. He had him out there, Alfred Jackson, who's made so many big plays for the Falcons in the past, and Bartkowski simply overthrew him.
And that was the thing that he was looking for, because he had Jackson man for man, and he wanted to get the ball up to it. And Jackson had about 3 steps on the defender.
Alfred played his college football at Texas, where he was a roommate of Earl Campbell. Another update around the league. Buffalo leading Kansas City 7-3. Joe Ferguson hitting Frank Lewis on a 20-yard touchdown pass. 3rd and 7, and the Giant faithful are raising the roof, imploring their guys to hold them. There's Teddy. Nobody touched him.
Just like last year, see, that's the first time they didn't have a tight end on his side. Now watch him. He's going to come from the right side of the screen. Bartkowski doesn't see him. Now he sees him, and it's too late. He's Taylor's arm.
That's a -10.
And a missed blocking assignment. Someone has to block that guy.
Giants are missing something. There's nobody back to receive this punt.
They have 11 men up on the line of scrimmage. They're going for the block.
Here they come after Smigelski. They didn't get it. They have nobody back to receive this punt. Touchback. Well, you don't see that very often.
No, especially in this situation, you know. Let's see if we can see it again here in the telestrator. Now, what the Giants did, they're going for an all-out block. You see, they have 11 men all packed up in here. There's no one deep. They're all coming. They're going to try and hit the gap, but they get there too late. Let's watch it. They got all 11 players up there, and they're all coming. No safety. No one's back, but no one broke through in the middle, and that's what hurt them.
Giants first and 10 from their 20-yard line, trying to get something going offensively. And Bruner completes a pass to John Missler at the 26-yard line. Colton Kuykendall on the tackle, and the Giants pick up 7. Second down, 3. Missler, normally a backup.
And the reason he's in there now, Frank, is they're playing with 3 wide receivers and no tight end, and they're still doing it on this down.
Perkins coming wide to the right side. Ernest Gray is split to the left, and that's Missler in motion. Butch Woolfolk close to the first down at the 29-yard line. You know, he played his high school football just down the turnpike here at Westfield, New Jersey. Played his last high school football game in this stadium before going on to become the University of Michigan's all-time leading ground gainer. Cardinals have jumped on New Orleans 7-0. Wayne Morris on a 1-yard touchdown run in the Superdome, and Philadelphia is out in front of the Redskins 10-0 on a Tony Franklin field goal from 44 yards away. Third down, less than a yard. Woolfolk. Joel Williams, number 58, stood him straight up. You talk about a clinic for outside linebackers. You've got it in this game.
We're seeing one today. Now the ball starts off to the right. He always stays behind the ball carrier. See, he stays behind him for the cutback. There was nothing on the right side. Woolfolk went to cut back, and there was Joel Williams.
Time is going to run out here in the first quarter before Jennings gets his punt away. There's the gun ending the first period.
See, now they're going to try to run to the right side. Now watch, they start off here, Woolfolk to the right, lead block, there's nothing there. He cuts back, no one blocks Williams. He stays inside and comes in and makes the tackle for no gain.
We're at the end of one period at the Meadowlands with no score.
What made Chevy Chevette the best-selling small car in America last year?
All the standard features: reclining front seat, AM radio, shift console, white striped tires, fold-down rear seat, and lots of other things.
Is it Chevette's great gas mileage? A big 30 EPA estimated miles per gallon, 42 estimated highway.
Could it be Chevette's low price? It's still one of the lowest priced Ford or hatchbacks sold in America, foreign or domestic.
Now, special allowances make it possible for Chevy dealers to save you up to $600 on new Chevettes.
My American friends introduced me to my favorite beer, light beer from Miller. Now I'm introducing them to my favorite food. With nachos, the best thing about light is it tastes great.
Not bad.
With enchiladas, the best thing is it's got a third less calories than the regular beer. With burritos, the best thing is it's less filling.
Carlos, what's this?
And with jalapeno peppers, the best thing about light is it's cold.
Light beer from Miller. Everything you always wanted in a beer, and less.
From 7 watts to 100 million watts. From 12 horsepower to 180,000 pounds of thrust. Ideas that made America grow and made millionaires out of many who risked investing in them. At First Jersey Securities, we believe such investment opportunities still exist. If you know where to look for them, we do. We specialize in discovering America's emerging growth companies for today's investors with vision. First Jersey Securities. Come grow with us.
Sports coverage of the National Football League is sponsored by Chevrolet and your local Chevy dealers from coast to coast. And by light beer from Miller, everything you've always wanted in a beer, and less.
The New York offense has gone 1-2-3 kick now for 3 straight series, and Jennings back to punt again. Why is it punters aren't normally very popular?
Because every time they come in, something bad just happened. If they're successful on third down, then they don't come in. Third down, if they don't make the first, the punter comes in. That's why no one likes him.
White chooses the deep man. Jennings may be the best athlete on this Giant team, probably the best athlete among punters in the National Football League. And he gets all of this one. Billy Whiteshoes at the 10-yard line. 15, 20, up the sideline and out of bounds at the 27. And we get a penalty marker. 61 yards on the punt by Dave Jennings, and 15 yards on the return. See what the penalty option is here.
Looks like it's against the Giants, you know, one of those things blocking, against the Falcons, blocking below the waist. That happens a lot on those punt returns, but it's a good rule. You know, they put that in to reduce the injuries, and on a punt coverage, the return team can't block a cover man below the waist. I bet that's what it was.
There's Chuck Hammerling, the referee. That is officially a 64-yard punt by Jennings. Let's get the call here.
Low block, number 36 on the run back. First down.
That's Bob GLAZEBROOK of the Falcons. So that puts the Falcons in their poorest field position of the ballgame as they start this drive at the 13-yard line. And now listen to the Giant fans as they start the cry of defense. Cain and Andrews, the setbacks. We're looking to see some of Gerald Riggs this afternoon. Cain picking his way through to close to the 20-yard line of the play.
I was talking about Cain earlier, and he always looks like he's down. You think you have him, and then he stumbles, takes one more step, another one, and falls, and gains 5 or 6 yards.
Second down, 3. Cain, of course, understudy Charles White at USC. There's a blocking back. Andrews. Not enough for the first down. Now for an NFL Today report. Let's go to Brett Musburger once again in New York.
Frank and John, the Detroit Lions have struck against Chicago. This is a 5-yard pass from Eric Hipple to tight end David Hill. The important thing is Billy Sims is playing for the Lions and doing a good job. Back to you in the Meadowlands.
Well, it's got to be good news for all the Detroit Lion fans. Third down, a long one for the first down. Each team has failed to pick up third downs. Each team 0 for 3. So we have not had a single third down conversion. Andrews. And it'll be close. The word we get on Bruce Kimball, the Giants offensive lineman, who was injured on the first play of the game, apparently is a broken leg. So that is tough luck for him. He worked hard during training camp, former star up in Canada, beat out the veteran J.T. Turner, and suffered a broken leg on the first play of the very first game of the season.
Right, there was a fracture in his lower left leg, and as you say, works all training camp, and he was on the injured reserve last year, and he's starting his first game, and then gets it on the very first play. This is a first down. You can tell that the way the pile went backwards. It's what you always want to do on short yardage is see, it wasn't even close. You get the pile going that way. When the piles go back towards the quarterback, it's usually not a first down. When the piles go towards the defense, it usually is a first down. But we got those guys with those markers. They like to run out there every once in a while.
Well, that tells you something about why the Giants offense, I guess, was 28th in the league last year. They started very slowly today. I thought you were going to give me the business about the left foot, right foot spot by the official.
That'll be later.
That's at the really critical time. First and 10. Bartkowski blitzed by Van Pelt, gets the pass away. Little swing pass, and it produces yet another first down as Andrews, who gained over 2,000 yards rushing and receiving last year, 1,300 on the ground, picks up the first. 12 yards.
This is a screen pass. They start in the I formation, you see, and Andrews goes to the left. See, like he's blocking. He sets up. Bartkowski looks to the right. Now he turns out. The linemen come out in front of Andrews right there. You see it there? The two linemen out in front. A good block right there by Howell. Andrews breaks off it. First down. I like that, Andrew. I think he's one of the best backs in the entire National Football League. Do it all.
He held out of training camp for a while, but just couldn't stand to stay away. Came back before the first game. Of course, was injured and missed most of preseason. Again, a blitz. This time, Bartkowski is dipped from behind, and Van Pelt falls on the ball at the 22. Inside the 20 to the 19-yard line. This is the deepest penetration for the Giants so far in this game. No score. Al Richardson, 56, and Don Smith, number 65, on the stop.
And the fans are booing the offense, Frank. I think what they'd like to see is open up a little, especially on first down. They've been very conservative on first down. Got to take a shot. Joe DANELO can kick a field goal from here. Take 2 shots at that end zone. Go ahead.
Second down, 8. Just inside the 20. Brunner. Over the head of Wolfel, the intended receiver. Al Richardson, number 56, back there covering for him. Butch, who scored his first Giant touchdown in the last preseason game last weekend against Miami. Here's a look at the Giants' statistical offense in 1981. They did make the playoffs. They're the first team ever to finish last in the league on offense and still make the playoffs.
They'll go to the shotgun on this play and again take another shot at them. They'll see Brunner back, 2 back side by side, 3 men on the line of scrimmage.
3rd and 8. Brunner had no one and threw it away. And the boos rained down for the Giants offense. Boy, it doesn't take them long in New York, does it? First game of the season, second quarter, they're not even behind yet.
Well, they're in mid-season form, these fans, for that booing. But I'll tell you, they do love their defense here. And you know the other thing they love here? These 2 kickers. Here's one, Joe DANELO, and they also love Dave Jennings.
DANELO was 8 out of 10 in preseason and pelted a bunch of them home from beyond the 40. Those were his stats from last year. This attempt will be from 36 yards away. He did not get it. Wide to the right.
Maybe they don't love Joe DANELO here. I know they don't right now because they're booing him. That's frustrating now for an entire football team. The defense comes up with a big play. The offense can't do anything, and then the kicker misses a field goal.
So we're still scoreless early in the second period.
If you run a small business, profits can get squeezed when inventory doesn't match up with production. What can help is a visit to an IBM personal computer dealer. Once you've explained the kind of help you need, a computer expert will show you the system that's right for you, show you how simple it is to get started, and how IBM's easy-to-follow instructions and library of business and management software can help you solve your problems and give you a tool for modern times. The IBM personal computer. Not only can it help you plan ahead, it'll balance your books and give you more time to make dough. And the cost? That's the icing on the cake. Your own IBM personal computer. Try it at a store near you.
1st and 10, Atlanta's football from their 20-yard line after the misfire on on the field goal attempt by Joe DANELO from 36 yards away. Giants have had very poor field position offensively. They've started from their 11, 15, and 20, and of course blew their golden opportunity a moment ago after Van Pelt recovered the fumble. The only decent field position they've had all day. Andrews over the left side, flying out to the 24-yard line. Jim Burt, 64. Curtis McGriff, number 76, on the stop. William Andrews was the 15th running back selected the year he came out. The number 3 pick, and boy, that's just like finding gold there.
That is, I wonder who the 14 in front of him were. There was probably about 13 mistakes.
Second down, 6. Falcons at their 22-yard line. Just one setback, and that's Andrews. Markowski, sideline throw. He's got Jenkins wide open as Terry Jackson fell down, and Jackson is hurt. Jackson looked like he slipped trying to make his cut. No one touched him, and he's down and hurting.
What we were talking about this. Now watch Jackson. He's going back here. He's number 24 in his zone. See, he turns to make the turn. It was his left knee gave out, and then Jenkins was right there, caught the ball, turned it up, and got a big play for the Falcons.
That does not look good at all for Terry Jackson. Timeout here at Giant Stadium with 10 minutes, 39 seconds left to play in the first half.
Toyota presents a truck that gives you the feeling.
The feeling that you got your money's worth.
The Toyota Standard truck with the biggest engine in its class, with 100 horses of pulling power, 1,400 pounds of carrying power. This Toyota truck was built to last.
And mister, there's a real comfortable ride built into this truck.
Now you got the feeling.
Somebody did it right.
Oh, we're feeling Toyota.
I was known as one of the meanest players in hockey, but I didn't deserve that, right?
Right.
I'm just a nice guy who comes in and has a few light beers from Miller with the boys. If Pussycat who drinks light because it's less filling, and it tastes great. Really, if I was a nasty player, may a lightning bolt come down and strike this very spot.
Light beer from Miller. Everything you always wanted in a beer, and less.
The irrepressible Jimmy Connors meets the man who stopped John McEnroe, Yvonne Lendl. The men's final of the U.S. Open Tennis Championships on CBS Sports next.
Jackson limped off the field under his own power, so it looks a little better.
Let's see if we can watch it. Now, this is an artificial turf injury. See, we see Jackson. He's number 24. He's right here. He's backing up. He's backing up. Now, everything's okay. Now, watch when he starts to turn. You see, his right foot gets there. His left foot gets caught in the turf. You see, both feet were caught in the turf there, and the only thing that could give was the joint.
Mike Dennis has replaced him in the secondary. First down Falcons at their 48. Making his first appearance in the football game. The Atlanta Falcons' #1 draft choice charges across the 50 and down to the Giant 46-yard line. Now here's a young man with a little bit of pressure on him as you look at Dennis, who came in to replace Jackson. Everybody was clamoring for the Falcons to pick someone on defense in the draft, and they turn around, they got the #2 offense in the league, and they pick a running back.
Yeah, one of the things that Lehman Bennett said is he wants to use more running backs this year, not put the entire burden on Andrews and CAIN.
Riggs got 6 on his first NFL carry. Second down 4. Riggs it is again. Out of Arizona State. Dropped at the 45-yard line, 2 yards shy of the first down. George Martin, number 75, making the tackle. Cincinnati 10 points in front of the Houston Oilers now. The second period of that game, a 43-yard field goal by Jim Breach, and Buffalo leading Kansas City by 1. Nick Lowry has just hit a 47-yarder for the Chiefs. Minnesota 7-3 over Tampa Bay. Ricky Young with a 3-yard touchdown run. Total offense been all Atlanta, but it hasn't been really that much on either side.
No scores. That's the big one.
Third down, call it 3. Falcons at the Giant 45, and Markowski tripped. Going back. I don't know. Did he hit one of his own men?
No, he didn't. That's the same thing that just happened to Jackson. His foot got caught in the turf, and he just tripped. He's looking down at his shoes. Now watch it. He doesn't hit anyone. Watch this. right there. I think he just tripped. He may have hit Pat Howell, but I don't think so. Harry Carson's down on the field on that last play.
That's the third sack for the Giants, minus 31 in the statistical board. Another injury for the Giants, which they certainly don't need here. You know, speaking of sacks, John, they're keeping track of them in the official NFL stats this year. I imagine that's going to pump a few defensive linemen and linebackers up.
Yeah, they've never kept them officially. Each team has their own stats. We see Harry Carson going off the field. He looks like he's okay. You know, he had the flu this week, and he really missed practice all week. Here's Carson here from the left-hand side of the screen. See, he's coming right here. He's the guy that gets Bartkowski, does a little deal on the back, and then he comes over. It looks like he just got the wind knocked out of him when his own man, Van Pelt, fell out.
Smigelski is in to do the punting for the Atlanta Falcons on 4th and 12. Leon Bright is the deep man for the New York Giants. Still no score. 8 minutes, 40 seconds left. Games being played here. 30-second clock ran out again. All right, let's talk about this snap business. Now, who's it up to? The center, right? He can throw it anytime he wants. He feels everybody's ready.
That's right. They don't have a count because the punter is 15 yards back and they can't communicate. So the punter usually gives a sign that he's ready, and then the center can center it anytime after that.
Delay of the game. Offense number 3. 4th down.
Always give the penalty to the poor kicker. It's like the quarterback, you know, with too much time to always give him the penalty, and he didn't do anything.
Eric Sanders is the center on kicking attempts. Run a little bit short by Smigelski and out of bounds at the 20-yard line. 38 yards on that kick. And the Giants will put it in play from their 21-yard line.
Thought that one of the most important downs is first down. That on first down, you have to make yardage and create good situations for second and third. Neither team is really doing well on first down.
Since it was the only way to play Pac-Man on my TV, I got a video game system from Atari. Am I glad? Because it's also the only way to play Haunted House. It's almost too spooky, especially in the dark. An Atari system's also the only way to play Defender at home. I can't think of a faster game, can you? Think fast. Then there's Yar's Revenge, an Atari original. Only Atari lets me play all these great home video games. Wonder what they've got waiting in the wings.
Announcing Sunoco's sundial service. Now one pump can satisfy everyone.
I'm a regular guy with a regular wife and regular kids. Can your pump satisfy my regular car?
Dial regular. It's our very best seller.
My car seems to be running very irregular on regular. Do you have something a little better?
Dial Plus. It's regular with extra octane. Only Sunoco's sundial service has 4 unleaded grades. Now one pump can satisfy everyone.
That's our situation here at Giant Stadium midway in the second period. Don't forget NCAA on CBS. First full weekend of regional action upcoming. Next Saturday, got some interesting matchups, John.
You know, the one is at San Jose State versus Stanford. You know, the Stanford quarterback, of course, is John Elway. The San Jose State coach is his father. Father against son.
Boston College, the team that upset Texas A&M, involved. Scott Bruner blitzed that time. Dumps it off nicely to Joe Morris. And Morris is out to the 25-yard line. Now, this is Morris' first appearance in the game. He is 5'7", and that may be stretching it, and weighs 200 pounds, and he is a rock, the leading ground gainer in Syracuse University history, and that is saying a lot when you consider some of the backs that they produced. There's the Syracuse connection. He gained more grounds in his career than Zonka, Little, Davis, and Brown. That is strong. Second and 5. Collision between Brunner and Morris, and the Falcons recover. Jeff Merrow, number 75, there to receive the gift, and dives forward to the 13-yard line.
Ray Perkins doesn't like that. That's something, even though it's a first regular season game, they've had plenty of time running back. Now watch this. Only one back in the backfield. He's going to go off to the right side. Pretty good thing here. Watch, he gets through the hole. Now watch when these two tacklers come. Watch this explosion. Boom! He just steps right through him and into the end zone. Boy, does that guy have power. Watch the block here by Junior Miller. He's blocking on Van Pelt. Just gets him off enough so that William Andrews can get inside of him.
Mick Luckhurst will try the extra point. 13-yard drive, one play. Andrews now 9 carries for 37 yards. And Luckhurst, who did not miss an extra point all of last year, makes it 52 in a row in his NFL career. Falcons lead it 7-0 with 7:45 left to play in the first half.
At Ford Motor Company, quality is job one. This is one of 800 employee involvement groups formed by Ford and the UAW.
This is real improvement here.
This group reviewed the quality of the new 1983 Mercury Marquis before you could even buy one.
Oh, that's going to be much better than what they had before.
Employee involvement, another reason the quality of our cars has improved an average 48% since 1980.
At Ford, quality is job one.
Young Andrew is going to learn a lot about love and responsibility. As Andrew grows, so will his responsibilities. And that's when Nationwide Insurance will be able to help him, as we've helped his parents and his grandparents. Nationwide Insurance has been helping people take care of their responsibilities for almost 3 generations, with blanket protection for their lives, homes, families, cars, and businesses.
Nationwide is on your side.
Guess who's back by popular demand?
We'll never be made to look poor and trashy again.
Filthy Rich premieres Wednesday, October 6th.
So the Giants didn't take advantage of their turnover, and the Falcons did, and Atlanta leads 7-0. Luckhurst is ready to kick off. Butch Woolfolk, the deep man in the 3-back formation, will come down to the other side to Mike Dennis. Dennis from the goal line out to the 15, and really cracked right at the 20. Now for an NFL Today report, let's once again go to Brent Musburger in New York.
Frank, I know that John was interested in Burt Jones with the Rams. 5 of his first 9 for 183 yards, and this touchdown pass to Barber put the Rams up 17-0. He's breezing. Back to you fellas in the Meadowlands.
What would the Rams be like without a quarterback controversy?
Oh, they have to have one. They aren't yelling for Vince Ferragamo yet the way Burt Jones is playing today.
First and 10 at the 20. Bruner under pressure. Pass is dropped by Woolfolk. And we might mention the man who isn't here today, Rob Carpenter.
And I think that's a very important thing, especially when the Giants had that turnover and they got the ball on the 20-yard line. That's when they would have went to work with Carpenter. And you know, they drafted Woolfolk and Morris to go with Carpenter. They have Woolfolk and Morris. They don't have Carpenter. They really don't have a balanced backfield.
You may have seen Rob on the NFL Today saying there's a very small chance he'll be back this year, involved in a contract dispute in Missouri City, Texas. Sure, he's looking in today. Mullady with the catch at the 26-yard.
I'm sure that he is looking in. I'm sure that he players play football. Remember, they take the spring off. Unless we're in some new league or something.
Third
Rob
down.
Carpenter will be here.
Well, there's one of those, too, you've heard.
Well, that's right.
There's the Giant third down situation has been dismal so far. 3rd and 4 upcoming for New York at their 26-yard line. It's got too many people on the field. Bruner gets the pass away to Ernest Gray for the first down at the 33-yard line. No flag. That is the Giants' first down of the ballgame.
You know what happened on that play, Frank? Mike Seeley, the backup nose tackle, was coming into the game. When he got there, he found out there was already one there. When he tried to run off, he really didn't get off in time. I'm surprised that wasn't a penalty against the Falcons.
So the Giants open the season and go 23 and a half minutes of clock time without a first down. They got their first at the 34-yard line. Bruner has it slapped back on him. Big charge that time by Dow. middle. Bruner is 6 out of 10 for 28 yards.
Now, that wasn't Bruner's fault.
Obviously. There's Jeff Rutledge, the new Giant quarterback, picked up in a trade with the Rams last Sunday. They say they gave a fifth for him. They don't say, but it's been said they gave a fifth for him, which could go as high as a fourth, depending on how much he plays. But he is now the backup with Sims out for the season with a knee injury. 2nd and 10. Wolfo. Great run. First down at midfield. Butch Wolfo. 7 carries for 31 yards so far. That one good for 15.
I want to show you what happened here. Watch the nose tackle right here, Don Smith. He takes a charge out here, and Woolfolk is able to come right back where he left from. Now watch it. Watch, we'll see Smith. You see he starts out here, and then we go right there, and Woolfolk went where Smith left from.
Back to live action now with a first down. Giants at their 49. Bruner hitting Mullady at the 44-yard line. The Falcons end of the field, good for 7. The Giants offense finally has opened up a little bit, showing some signs of life in this drive.
I think what they have to do is throw more on first down. You know, create these types of situations. See, it's fun to play when you're 2nd and 4.
Joe Theismann has hit Art Monk in a 5-yard touchdown pass. So Washington is on the scoreboard with Philadelphia. 2nd down, 4. Giants at the 45-yard line of the Falcons. Bruner getting it to Craze, one-on-one with Johnson. Johnson juked around long enough, enabling the pursuit to come over and help, but not before the Giants get another first down at the 37.
You were right, and he allowed Buddy Curry to get out there. We see the Falcons were in a blitz. See Kuykendall coming in there. Richardson from the outside. Now right here, turn the ball upfield. Get it upfield. Don't let that pursuit come and get you. See, by the time Johnson held him off, look who makes the tackle right there. Number 50, Buddy Curry, an inside linebacker.
Giants on the move, and this drive which started back at their 20. They trail 7-0. First down at the Falcon 33. Bruner fakes into the middle to Wolffolk and goes long for Gray. Touchdown!
Is the woman who has never known war. Ben Gazzara, Richard Roundtree, and Toshiro Mifune are the men who have never known anything else. And Sir Laurence Olivier is General Douglas MacArthur, who guided their destinies to a place called Incheon, rated PG. Starts Friday. Check newspapers for a theater near you.
You called about a copier.
I don't have much space.
You need a DC-121 plain paper copier fits anywhere.
I need lots of different copies.
The DC-121's small, but it's fast.
But I don't have much money.
No other copier gives you all these features at the same low price. And when you buy a Mita copier, you get your own personal Mita man or woman.
Thank Mita for small favors.
Mita, full-service copiers.
DANELO is ready to kick off for the New York Giants. And there's the book on the Giants scoring drive. Bruner with a 33-yard bullet to Ernest Gray. On that possession, Bruner was 5 out of 6 for 65 yards. 7-yard line. Looked like a 9-iron shot. More CBS action next weekend, and a big doubleheader coming your way. The key game. Most parts of the country will see the Dallas Cowboys play the Cardinals. That's been a great series down there.
It has been a great series. You know, we did that game last year in St. Louis, and St. Louis upset Dallas.
It's always 2 points or 3 points, no matter where it's being played. Where are you going to be, John?
I'm going to be right there. San Francisco 49ers, the world champions, versus the Denver Broncos, who may be the surprise team in the NFL this year.
By the way, the fans in the New York area will see the entire doubleheader, both ends, which is a little bit unusual. I'm sure they're looking forward to that. Bartkowski wants to get it right back. Comes out throwing, and Alfred Jackson making the catch and going out of bounds in front of Mike Dennis at the 36-yard line. Should be just about enough for the first down.
Jackson ran a nice pattern on that. He drove Dennis deep. Dennis started to turn like he was going up, and then Jackson broke it off to the sideline.
Jackson playing at Texas didn't see the pass come his way that much.
So then, you know, Bartkowski, that last pass which you saw, that out pattern, that deep out, he probably throws that better than anyone in the game right now.
Steve, Pro Bowler the last 2 years, and one of the premier passers in football. 1st and 10. Drives up to the 38-yard line. You know, Bartkowski was drafted in 1975, was the first player picked in the draft that year. Chicago and Detroit are knotted at 7. In the second period, 2-yard run by Matsui. Tying that score. Don't forget, coming up at halftime, the whole game is back with scores and highlights. Second down, 8. Our score, 7-7. Falcons and the Giants on a warm, late summer day here at Giant Stadium. Falcons at their 38-yard line. One running back, that's William Andrews. Andrews out to the 41-yard line. Brian Kelly, number 55, making the stop. 39 yards and 10 carries for Andrews.
Andrews, you know, he really has all his power comes from down low. Let's watch Brian Kelly here. He's starting to pursue, takes on the guard, and then gets into Andrews with help from Van Pelt.
Brian is now the senior statesman among the Giant linebackers.
He's also the quarterback of that defense. He's the one that calls the defenses in the huddle.
3rd down, 5. Falcons at their 41. Again a blitz. Bartkowski trying to go long down the sidelines, and Jackson feels it for the first down at the 30-yard line. The fact that it was underthrown helped him.
There's a penalty on that play, but watch it here. It's just the old jump ball play. Dennis is step for step with Jackson. Jackson sees it. They're both there. Dennis slips a little. Jackson gets up and gets that ball.
But there was a penalty marker, and they'll bring it back. 36-yard gain wiped out, and yardage to be stepped off against the Atlanta Falcons. Are they working on Dennis a little bit since he's replacing Jackson?
Well, you know, they did on that play. The other play, the out to Jackson, that was on Mark Haynes.
Offense, number 31, 3rd down.
William Andrews, the running back of the hold.
Excuse me, Chuck, but you know, I was talking to the referee there for a second. But
I know you know my name.
You know, sometimes we give credit to the wrong guy, but that first out was on Mark Haynes, and then that last one was on Dennis. So it's been one on Haynes and one on Dennis.
3rd down, 15. Giants haven't been penalized. Atlanta 4 times now for 35 yards. Bartkowski, sideline throw to Jackson. Looked like about the same play, a little shorter.
That was. Now they may be working on Dennis, you know, 2 in a row, but I'll tell you, that's the pass. Now that's the thing that Bartkowski can do it anyway. Here he is. He's 3rd down, 14 yards to go. You have to throw the ball at least 15. Watch Jackson. He runs that. He just looks back, just works back. It's not a great pattern, but again, he just beat him right at the end with a little quickness.
And you saw the first down marker. The Falcons picked up the first down at their 48-yard line.
It's only a dream at first, but to a special few who make it to the Pro Football Hall of Fame, it's the ultimate honor.
It was the most exciting moment of my life.
For Sam Huff, it started here, in the small coal mining town of Farmington, West Virginia. The only way out to escape the life his father knew in the coal mines was to play football, and play it he did. Drafted with the New York Giants in 1956, he became known as the man in the middle, number 70. He was one of the greatest middle linebackers the game has ever known. Sam Huff became Sunday's idol. In 1982, he received the ultimate honor, induction into Pro Football's Hall of Fame, where he will stand forever as the man in the middle. They're all here, the stories, the dreams, the inspirations, here for you to see and enjoy at the Pro Football Hall of Fame in Canton, Ohio. Don't miss it.
We're down to the 2-minute warning. Here in the first half with the score tied at 7. Falcons with a first down at their 48-yard line. Bartkowski's got it warmed up now, 4 in a row, 7 out of 10 for 86 yards. Jackson to the right side, Jenkins to the left. Gerald Riggs. Got a couple as he took it to the 50-yard line.
Yeah, we were talking to Lehman Bennett last night, Frank, and he said one thing they want to do this year offensively is get the ball more to their tight end, Junior Miller. We haven't seen it yet. Maybe on this drive.
That's a good point. 2nd down 8. Hurry up offense now. 2-minute offense for the Falcons. Well, they went for Miller, and it looked like it hit Kelly right in the face mask. Brian's not used to him coming at it like that.
Let's see if we could watch that. That ball really did zip. It didn't look like Junior Miller was ready yet. Watch, he'll come from the right of your screen, coming across. Now there's Kelly. You see, he threw it right over the umpire, and Miller didn't get his hands up. Kelly didn't get his hands up. Ball looked like it hit them both. I think the umpire was between the quarterback and the receiver.
That's a good point. 3rd down 8. Falcons from the 50-yard line with a minute and a half left in the first half. Gerald Riggs on the receiving end of that pass for the 45. And looks like he's a little bit short of the yardage needed for the first down at the 43.
This will be an interesting decision. It is short. It'll be 4th down. Whether they'll go for it or punt with a minute 11 seconds left. I think the Giants could help them by taking time out. That would probably force them to punt. Looks like Atlanta's going to let the clock run down as much as they can and go for it on 4th down.
Falcons have 2 timeouts left. The Giants have all 3 of theirs. 4th down, less than a yard for the first down at the Giant 43. Cruz and Riggs behind Bartkowski. Bartkowski was working for an offside call, but it didn't work out. And looked like the 30-second clock finally ran down on him.
That's what he was trying to do. He was trying to use the time so they take some off from the Giants. They go in the huddle. They call no play. They say no play. Then he gets up at the line of scrimmage, starts yelling out, bobbing his head, hoping the Giants will jump offside. They didn't fall for it. Now the clock stops, and they'll punt.
Now let's see what the Giants punt rush does this time. They're going to leave somebody back. They rushed 11 earlier. No one back. Smigelski in to do the punting, but they went after him. Smigelski doing a little swan dive, but the officials didn't buy it. Leon Bright at the 20, 30, 35. Bright almost to the 40. Good run back. 30 seconds left in the half. 3 timeouts for the Giants. 32 yards on the punt return.
Let's watch Smigelski now here. He's not watching those rushes. He didn't even get touched, but he does a nice job. Look, he's learned that like a real veteran. You go down, spin around, bang your head. The referee didn't buy that one. I bet the Giants wish that they had used timeout on that last down, on that 4th down. Now they have good field position here, but time is very important. Or of the essence, as they say.
That's what they say.
Time is of the essence.
You want to grade Smigelski on his acting ability? Give him an A-.
B+.
B+. 1st and 10. Giants at their 40. Shotgun. Bruner. Wide open. Heater. Larry Heater at the 50. And reaches forward to the 49. And now the Giants call time 21 seconds left in the half. Well, they got time to get close enough to kick one.
Well, that's what, to get in Joe Danelo's range, they need about 15 to 18 yards. So that can be 2 short pass receptions like we just saw, or it can be 1 long one. That's the first thing. First thing you think of is get in field goal range. Then after you get that, then you go for the end zone.
Danelo has kicked him as long as 55 yards in his career, and he's really one of the better long-range field goal kickers in the league.
And he's upset now because he missed that gimme early. You know, those things don't happen. We were talking to him yesterday, and he said, I love to kick in this stadium now in September. It's beautiful. He said around October, November, it'd be nice to be indoors.
Of course, the wind doesn't normally bother the kickers that much because the Giant Stadium is completely enclosed.
Yeah, but it does some funny things in here, though, Frank. Sometimes because it is enclosed, when it gets in, it goes around in circles.
Has hit 6 of his last 7 pass attempts, 10 out of 14 for the game. Leading the Giants. Up to the line of scrimmage, 1st and 10, 48, Bruner. Completes the pass at the 31-yard line to Perkins, but we've got a penalty marker back at the line of scrimmage. Holding, New York.
That'll be holding against the Giants.
The Giants' first penalty of the game.
Looks like it was whoever was blocking Jeff Merrow there. It was probably Jeff Weston, the left tackle of the Giants, because Merrow was held just before Bruner threw the ball. But it was still a great catch.
It really was. Let's take a look at it again.
You know, it won't
Hold down. Offense. Number 68. First down.
Let's just watch the catch here again. I'll tell you, it really is something. It won't go into statistics. It won't make any highlights. But watch how high he gets up in the air. Concentration, catches that ball.
17-yard gain wiped out, and of course field goal range for Danelo. As now they move back to the 41-yard line. The penalty was on Turner, and now the Giants are going to run it out. That'll do it. As far as the first half goes, with the score tied at 7 apiece. Took a little while to warm up in the first quarter, like a couple of boxers, but in the second quarter,
you know, you usually do that when you have a good defensive team. I think that's what the Giants were thinking. It's probably what Atlanta was thinking, that we don't want to give anything. We have great defense. Let the defense do it early until we get straightened out. I would think in the second half, we're going to see a lot more passing.
Well, we didn't know what to expect, really, coming into this game in view of Atlanta's preseason record. The only thing predictable about them was their unpredictability. I mean, their inconsistency.
And that, you know, was last year too. They were 7-9 last year. They had a great year the year before. You know, people had picked them to be in the playoffs, even the Super Bowl, and they had a disappointing season last year. They went to training camp and had a disappointing training camp in that they were Jekyll and Hyde or inconsistent. Now, I think the Giants maybe found out in this first half that they need Rob Carpenter. Their passing looks good. They're running not much.
Score tied at 7 at halftime. We'll be back shortly.
Around here, well, I guess we take work about as serious as anybody else. But I'll tell you something, boy, come sundown, ain't nobody more serious about having a good time.
Welcome to Miller Time. It's all yours, and it's all mine. Bring your thirsty self back here. You've got the time, we've got the beer for what you have in mind. Welcome to Miller Time.
The best beer for the best time of the day. Miller High Life.
Bring your thirsty self right here. You've got the time, we've got the beer for what you have in mind. Oh, welcome. Welcome. Welcome to Miller Time. Yours and mine.
From the leading edge of technology comes a new generation of video electronics from Zenith. At the touch of a button, the giant screen rises and you enjoy Space Screen 45 TV. Push a space phone button and turn your TV into a telephone. Produce a movie with your VCR and play it back on Zenith's new component TV system with stereo capability. Video high-tech, part of the new generation from Zenith, where the quality goes in before the name goes on.
20 years ago, a young campus reporter and a nationally renowned football coach first met. Now they're back together again. The NCAA Today on CBS Sports. Brent Musburger at the anchor desk. Ara Persikin's insightful analysis. Pat O'Brien in the field. The kind of pregame show you've come to expect from CBS Sports. Keeping you up to the minute on what's happening in college football. The special skills that set CBS Sports apart. The NCAA Today on CBS Sports.
Welcome back to Giants Stadium. We're at halftime with the Atlanta Falcons and the New York Giants tied at 7 apiece. Very important game, really, for both teams, John Madden.
It is, you know, and you always like to get off to a good start. I think it's probably more important for Atlanta because they don't know if they're as good as they were 2 years ago or as bad as they were last year. They don't know if they were as good in preseason as they were against Philadelphia or as bad as they were against Tampa.
You know, 2 years ago, Falcons were 12-4, and they had that playoff game. They came so close to winning against Dallas, lost it, and I don't know if it had an after effect on them last year, but they wind up going 7-9, and there's some real big questions.
Well, of course, they had some injuries. You know, Joel Williams was to the Atlanta Falcon team what Lawrence Taylor was to the Giants last year. They lost him for all intent and purposes for the whole year. They lost the end that plays next to him, Jeff Merrill. They're both back. They're both healthy now, and on offense, you know, they may have the best offensive players in the National Football League. I've always been high in Atlanta.
Bartkowski started very slow back in 75, but long about 78, those two big wins over Atlanta, the Big Ben play, Bart kind of turned it around, and he's been magnificent the last 3 years, and of course has been in the Pro Bowl the last 2 years.
Well, you know, he can do the one thing better than anyone. The one thing that we've seen here at the end of the half is throw that deep out pattern, and that takes a real rifle. You're back there, and you're throwing it 20 yards deep and to the outside, and he can really zip that in. He's a special quarterback.
Right now, let's go to Brent Musburger in New York.
Welcome back to our news desk in New York. I'm Brent Musburger along with Irv Cross. And Irv, you were paying attention to number 20 of Detroit, Billy Sims, and his return.
Watched him very closely, Brent. He's not in tip-top shape yet. You can tell that because normally I saw plays where he would run right through a defender because he has great explosion in his legs, kind of just stumble through the hole. He's not ready yet.
You made an observation that Dick Vermeil and the Eagles have changed their offense this year?
They want to be a little more explosive. They're throwing the ball more on first down, short, quick patterns to those wide receivers. So hopefully that'll open up that offense.
All right, Irv. Let's get everybody up to date on the scores. Perhaps they have not caught them as this afternoon unfolds. The Los Angeles Rams, of course, are walking all over the Green Bay Packers. 20-0 is the score of that game. They are playing it in Milwaukee, and this could be a very troubled year for Bart Starr. How's Bert Jones doing? Magnificently in his first performance as a Ram. Here he is going to Wendell Tyler. Now, Tyler is going to cough the ball up. There's no football when he crosses the plane there, but the Rams recovered, and on the very next play, many of you saw this highlight during the Giant-Atlanta game, Wendell Tyler, and he's credited with a touchdown on that second effort. And then it was the Jones pass to Barber. This gave him 5 of 9 for 83 yards. This completion right here, and he's just running it up against the Green Bay Packers. 20-0 again is the count there. Chicago and Detroit, as Irv reported, Billy Sims returned. The Lions got on the board first, and then the Bears rebounded. And yes, there was a solidarity handshake at the Pontiac Silverdome, and then the fans said, "Welcome back, number 20." And folks, that didn't look like much, but it was a very big first down. And then the touchdown. Hippo smacked in this play. Incomplete. Avellini is down. He had to be taken off the field, and Mike Ditka had to make a choice, and instead of going to Jim McMahon, Vince Evans is now in the game for Chicago, and again they are tied at 7 in the second half. Minnesota and Tampa Bay, 7-3, but I really think the storyline there should be the Buccaneers. Bill Capice has kicked a 51-yard field goal, and you know how bad the Buccaneers kicking game has been in the past. That, of course, the new indoor home of the Vikes, who went right away on the attack. A little razzle-dazzle here. Ahmad Rashad took it from Sammy White. He didn't gain much after the lateral, but it's kind of fun to look at. Ricky Young then popped in on that next sequence, gave him the touchdown. The extra point by Dan Meyer was good. 7-3 now is the count of that game at the half. Cincinnati, of course, the winners of the AFC a year ago, they lead Houston 10-0 at the half. And Earl Campbell, 8 carries for 28 yards in the first half. Washington and Philadelphia, interesting. The Eagles jumped out, 10-point lead, and then back come the Washington Redskins. Joe Theismann now has thrown for a couple of touchdowns in that game, and it is 14-10. The Skins are over the Eagles. St. Louis and New Orleans, and the Cardinals strike on a 1-yard run by Wayne Morris in that game, and so they lead the Saints by 7. Irv tells me the Saints have been very sluggish in that game, incidentally. Buffalo now and Kansas City over in the AFC, and the Bills lead 7-6 on a 20-yard pass from Ferguson to Frank Lewis in that contest. New England and Baltimore, of course, they still start at 2 o'clock on the East Coast because of the blue laws in that city. They are scoreless still in the first quarter down in Baltimore. Atlanta and the Giants, the game you're watching, 7-7 is the score there. And, of course, as many of you know, right after the football game, you're going to be going out to Flushing Meadow for the championship of the U.S. Open. Yvonne Lendl and Jimmy Connors. We'll have a preview right after these messages from your local stations.
Friday, it's a special preview. Frank Buck, Explorer, King Trapper, and Ladies' Man. And this is your invitation to his private world of adventure and a quest for the common enemy.
Got a job to do for Uncle Sam.
This is Singapore. It's mystery, it's danger, and it's romance. It's like nothing you've ever seen before on television.
It's a high adventure you'll be able to tell your grandchildren about.
This is Bring 'em Back Alive, a special preview, Friday, September 24th.
This is CBS.
Qantas is selling the South Pacific for $1,146 from California, a round trip that takes you to Hawaii and Tahiti, that takes you to New Zealand, to Australia, to the Great Barrier Reef, and Sydney, and Melbourne, and me, all for $1,146. I just shot another smiling tourist.
For the man who knows the difference between a first impression and a lasting one, there's Alan Sully. Because while fashion changes, style remains. Alan Sully, the classic menswear collection. Available at A&S.
The computerized business. Inevitable, yet unpredictable. But you can stay out of blind alleys with DataPoint. Because DataPoint business computers work with DataPoint electronic mail, and DataPoint word processing, and DataPoint telephone equipment, all in a single expandable system. DataPoint can provide you with the vital business information equipment you need when you need it. DataPoint.
The Newsbreaker Dr. Rollin Smith, weekdays at 5.
Welcome back to our news desk here in New York, and let me remind you that right after the football game, we're going to be bringing you that U.S. Open tennis final between Yvonne Lendl and Jimmy Connors, and what a matchup that promises to be. Connors was a bad boy in tennis, but now he is one of the most charming athletes in the world. And even when he loses a point, as he did here against Rodney Harmon, he'll entertain the crowd. Yet at the same time, Jimmy Connors' tennis has seldom, if ever, been better. At the age of 30, he's like a fine wine. He won Wimbledon, and then yesterday, he blew away Guillermo Vilas in 4 sets in the semifinal. How about Connors and Lendl? Well, last month, the two played each other in Ohio. It was the last time Lendl has been matched against Connors, and it was no contest. The big Czech machine simply blew Jimbo away, 6-1, 6-1. Now, Lendl has never won a major title, but he's never been more impressive than he was yesterday, and you give him a chance to extend with that forearm, and he'll hit winners. For John McEnroe, who was eliminated in 3 sets, he was completely frustrated. And he was also intimidated. Lendl had trailed in this tiebreaker 5-2. But then he rallied and put the match away.
6-4, 6-4, 7-6, thank you.
And now today, it'll be that awesome forehand of Ivan Lendl, the most powerful man in the game. And he will be matched against one of the smartest performers in all of tennis, Jimmy Connors.
You know, Brent, you always try to put me on the spot by asking who's going to win football games. I've been waiting a long time to do this. You've been following the U.S. Open for 2 weeks. Who do you like between Lendl and Connors?
Irv, I really think that Lendl's going to win the match today. I just think he's too strong, and if he can get the first serve in, he will win it. And I think we're going to go 4 or 5 sets, and it's going to be one of the best tennis matches of the year.
All right. Your rep's on the line.
All right. Should be a marvelous contest. And, of course, that'll be coming up right after the football game. And right now, let's send you back to the stadium and the contest you're enjoying on CBS.
We're at halftime here at Giant Stadium. Frank Lieber along with John Madden. Atlanta and New York tied at 7 apiece. And more NFL action coming your way. Next Sunday afternoon, a big doubleheader highlighted by the Dallas Cowboys-St. Louis Cardinal game.
You know, Dallas is going to have a short week next week, but of all the teams that I've seen in preseason, the Cowboys look like the best team this year.
It's a great rivalry in the NFC East that goes back to the Cowboys' inception in 1960. Philadelphia, Cleveland, and New Orleans and Chicago. And the doubleheader game will be the 49ers and the Broncos. And your friend Mr. Summerall will be back with you if he can forget about tennis for a while.
Oh, yeah, he can do that. You know, he picked Jimmy Connors to win today, but next week we'll be back with world champion 49ers at Denver Broncos. And that game is in Denver at Mile High Stadium, and that's a tough place to play.
And keep in mind that doubleheader will be seen in New York, which is a little bit unusual because when the Giants and the Jets at home, New York normally only gets 1 game. Not so next week. You'll see the full doubleheader in the New York area on CBS.